And we are back on the Battlefield live stream. I am joined with Frank Jabot, a very special guest. We kind of want to talk about what it is you do at Electronic Arts and your day-to-day involvement with Battlefield 4.
I basically manage the studios at EA, so all the games that get built at the company, whether it's a mobile game like Plants vs. Zombies 2 or Battlefield 4 or the Sims 4, they all work inside the group that I manage.
Now, Frank, I think one of the main reasons that you're one of my favorite people at the company is because you are as big of a gamer as I am, and it's part of your day-to-day life.
Gamer.
So tell me a little about it. Like, what are you playing now? And
you know, at home right now I'm playing StarCraft 2, the new Brood Wars expansion.
Yep.
I've been messing around with League of Legends, although I got to tell you, getting screamed at for picking the wrong lane is a little hard to get into, but I've been messing with that. You know, I still play Battlefield 3, so you know, I get through the premium expansion pack stuff. I play a lot of the products that we have under development, so you know, I'll grab time on a tablet, play the latest build of PvZ2, or you know, we have some new stuff coming too. And I just been working my way through BioShock Infinite.
Cool.
But I like playing games. My favorite thing to do, so whenever I get free time, I jump into a game.
And I saw you were playing Battlefield 4 earlier, actually.
I was.
How you liking it so far?
I love it. It's just awesome. I mean, when you can drop a skyscraper right into the middle of a level, right on top of another group,
one of the best feelings in the game for sure.
Yeah, and you know, obviously I know what's going on in the game for the rest of the content. It's just huge. There's never been a shooter this good.
So now I know that you have a unique handle that you play Battlefield by.
Right.
Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, my handle in Battlefield is Daisy Cutter. In fact, it's usually my name in all the games I play. And you know, it's I had this really fun night when I was in DICE recently, where a bunch of us were playing. And we had our DICE developer tags, and a bunch of guys saw us, and so they tried to get the knife kills on us. And so it was this really cool. Everybody on the level except our 4-man squad, it was team deathmatch, was fighting everybody off with guns while they were just trying to knife.
Well, they were just trying to knife you?
Trying to get our dog tags, and it was great. Somehow they track our names and where we are, and then they drop into our server, so we had a blast. It was really fun.
The DICE hunters will definitely find you. They need those hags, man.
Yeah, they're rough.
So I noticed you were playing Engineer on Battlefield 4.
That's my favorite class.
Do you like the changes that they've made? Have you noticed any of the nuances at all?
Yeah, I do. I think that you know, every version of Battlefield's got to bring something new, and you know, you learn what people are liking and what things they don't like by where they churn out on a particular item or thing. But I think I really like how they've changed a lot of how the unlocks work, and then the mixing and the matching of the capabilities. I'm also a big vehicle guy. I love playing tanks.
Yeah.
I play that World of Tanks game quite a bit.
Speaking of tanks, Alpha 30 rocking a tank right here.
Yeah, there you go.
I could always drive the tanks, but I could never actually do any of the air vehicles.
Right.
I just flip a helicopter over right away.
I play on the PC, so I use the joystick. I cheat a little there, but yeah, I like flying a lot. So, what was different is in Bad Company 2, I played the Recon class a lot, and I just didn't end up being the sniper in BF3. So what I'm excited about is BF4, the snipers feel different, and
they feel
kind
amazing.
of get back into that class a little bit.
I still think the bullet sync is one of the most satisfying feelings as a gamer. Just like sending that bullet across the map and having it sync down perfectly is fantastic.
Yeah, managing drop is great. It's cool to see the gunship too, and commander mode is back. I haven't actually called in a missile strike on my tablet yet, but I've seen it in enough demos to see it's pretty good.
It was actually demoed during the press conference.
Oh yeah,
that was one of my favorite things.
I was one of the guys back there playing.
Oh, you got to be one of the players?
I snuck in, yeah.
What was that like?
That was fun, you know. Initially they told me, you know, make sure you don't shoot the helicopter because you'll screw up the demo, but you know, all heck broke loose and we had a good time.
I think that was one of the really well received things was the curtain coming up and 64 players standing right there behind the stage playing it live.
We had a really good press conference. You know, you work on these games for so long, and we couldn't talk about Gen 4 forever.
Right.
And finally to be able to come out on stage and say, here's Battlefront, you know, here's Battlefield 4, here's Titanfall, and see the reaction. It was just awesome. I mean, that's ultimately why we're here, is we make games trying to make people happy and entertain them, and when they are, it's awesome.
Yeah. And then speaking a little bit towards Frostbite, we've noticed that Frostbite's being used in more and more games.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about EA's decision to invest heavily in the Frostbite engine?
Sure. You know, when I started working in the studio a few years ago, and I looked at the environment and how we're building games, we had over 22 development engines, distinctly different ones, and some of them weren't that good. And the guys in Sweden have built this unbelievable suite of technology in Frostbite 1 and 2 And so we just exposed all these game teams to the power of Frostbite, and they got to opt into it because, you know, ultimately these guys want to use the best tech, the best tools to create the best experiences. And so over time, we basically moved BioWare and Visceral and a bunch of the studios onto Frostbite. And we made a lot of modifications to it. We brought in the animation system from sports, so the figures look a lot more realistic and move. And we can use the motion capture libraries from sports. So, I mean, that's one of the cool things about EA is if you get the whole power of it behind an idea, you can create just world-breaking or, you know, world-class stuff. And so that's what we've been doing, is moving people to Frostbite into EA Sports Ignite. On the sports side, we did the same thing. And it just allows game teams to move guys around. If they roll off of Battlefield 4 and they want to work on a sports game or they want to work on an RPG, they know all the tools already, they know the environment. And, you know, I think when you look at the visuals and you see the game quality, I think we're making the right calls here.
Yeah,
we're going to keep it proprietary. We're not going to license it out or anything, you know. This is something we're going to keep for ourselves.
So I think there were a lot of really great announcements that we made during the press conference. Obviously, Star Wars is amazing, and everybody's looking forward to it. Mirror's Edge 2 looks fantastic. I think one of the things that really excited people was Titanfall.
Absolutely.
The idea of a new IP, bringing out the new products. Is this something that, as EA, we want to keep heavily investing in?
Oh, absolutely. You know, it's always tough to launch new IP at the end of a generation. So what you want to try and do is save those IPs for the front end of a new generation where you can really break through on a bunch of creative fronts.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what we did there. And with Titanfall, you know, Star Wars, as well as Mirror's Edge, and you know, the Plants vs. Zombies game is it's a different take on things. So those together create a really cool, fresh part of our portfolio that helps out with the other stuff.
Yeah, awesome. So E3 2013, huge convention. You've seen a lot of awesome things here. What has been your favorite E3 2013 memory so far?
Probably the reception to Mirror's Edge.
Yeah?
Yeah, that and the reception to Battlefront. You know, we showed 28 seconds of footage and we went to #1 on Twitter. People were standing up and clapping for it. So it was just, like I said earlier in the interview, there's this moment where you actually finally get to show what you're working on.
Yeah.
And when the reception's that good, it was just awesome. So I'd say those two are probably my favorites so far. But it's not over yet.
It's not over yet, actually. We're halfway through. The live stream has been doing amazing. I think a lot of the reception of the community and everything has been really great. And I really do, I think that this is a really important year for Battlefield.
I agree, and we're collecting a lot of awards back there, so it looks
there
good.
are a lot of awards showing up.
And I hope the Battlefield community comes and tries to hunt for my dog tags, because I'm ready for them.
Yeah, and you actually, can you say your gamer tag again so they can add
Daisy Cutter, DAISYCUTTER.
All right, guys, so look out for Frank. Try to get those DICE dog tags. And thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Yeah,
enjoyed having you on.
Thanks very much.
Cool.
Have a good
show. And we'll be back with more Battlefield gameplay after this.